Hi, and welcome back to Dream Girl Trucking. Well, the Dream Girl Trucking channel. Probably, if I could ever say that right, I could be like one of those professional video makers. And why are they not called videographers? That's the people who hold the camera. I don't even know where the camera lens is. Let's see. I know it's on here somewhere. Well, maybe it isn't. What do I know? Absolutely nothing. So, here we have another fun-filled 15 minutes of absolutely nothing of any importance. Well, I take that back because today I do want to talk to y'all about, and I'm sorry that my eyeballs are just going every which way because I don't know where that camera lens is. I just want to talk about what it's like to be a lady truck driver and the things that I do to pass my time away out here. Number one, all my friends know that when I am at home or on a 34, like I am right now, they don't call me. Nobody calls me because I'm always busy. When my truck is rolling, that is my time to relax and do nothing, basically. When that truck stops, that's when I go to work. I've always got something to do because, I'm a dreamer. So I've got to keep my mind busy all the time. I also do exercises, running in place, lifting my little itty bitty, I think they're 2-pound weights, but oh my gosh, what a workout. I'm 60, right? Give me a break. Am I stretching because I don't want to get all stiffy and, not be able to, I don't know, put my pants on when I turn 80, if I'm even still alive by then. Take my vitamins, and I do try to eat healthy, but most of the time I don't. And then last week I got a whole case of OS&D M&Ms with peanuts. Yes, peanut M&Ms. It's been the death of me. Like 90 bags. Anyway, so OS&D is over, short, and damaged, and that is the icing on top of the cake for us people who pull reefer, because we get to keep a lot of stuff. I've kept bubble gum, gummy nerds. Bay and Bay pulls mostly for Mars, so it's usually candy. Just things like that. I've had a case of what was that stuff? Pasta salad, and a case of tomatoes, those little cherry tomatoes that you see at the like in every grocery store in the produce section, and they come in those clear plastic little, they're not very big, and they're cherry tomatoes. And oh my gosh, I finally put those in the trash because I thought, oh, these would be so great for me to snack on. I didn't eat tomatoes for like 3 months after that because, yeah, they were great to snack on for a long time, and then they weren't. So we get the OS&D, the over, short, and damaged. So I try to eat right, and I try to do intermittent fasting. That's the only thing that works for me. Now, some of y'all, other things work for y'all, but for me, it's only intermittent fasting. I have to just not eat because all my life, my metabolism has been so low. Even when I was like in my 30s and I was driving a truck, I could only eat once a day, or else I'd gain weight. So, yeah, it's a real bummer because I get hungry like 14 times a day, which, if y'all see my other videos, y'all have already heard me harping on that problem. So, right now, I'm doing my taxes for 2022 and 2023. Yes, well, it stinks because those were times when I was doing the lease purchase. So I saved up all my receipts, all my food, all my drinks, everything I bought out here on the road, everything. Every time I stopped at Walmart or Dollar General and stocked my truck, all that stuff, vitamins, whatever, I'm going to claim all of it. I'm going to claim all, and I do my own taxes. So, because I can't afford anybody to do them for me, they want hundreds of dollars. Well, gosh, the headache that doing my taxes is, I would not pay hundreds of dollars to get rid of. It's just not that bad. So, and that's why I like to drive for company too, because I've learned about myself that that's my shortfall. I do not keep up with my taxes. And of course, when I was working for that Russian mafia guy, and I was getting those negative paychecks, although I had saved a lot for my taxes, I had to use all that up to live off of. When you get a paycheck that's negative $1,000 and you got some bills coming in, I've got all my budgety stuff. I've got these 3 things on the first week, and all my credit cards on the second week. So I got like 5 of them, and then on the third week I've got my car payment and my utilities, and then my fourth week I've got my rent. So and that's like I think it's like 14. It was 14.45, and then it went up to 14. I don't know, 14.75 or something, because my cousins have a dog. So so it's $25 a month for the pet fee, and I told them I'd pay that if they paid the deposit. So yeah, I'm helping them out, and they moved in with me, and my roommates moved out. The 2 gay guys, they moved out, and so it's like perfect timing. And so my cousins are there, and it's 3 generations of cousins. My cousin that I grew up with, so she's old like me, and then her son, and then his 2 children. So yep, got a house full, and it's very nice to go home to. I went home for Christmas for the first time this year. Normally, a lot of us truck drivers, we don't go home for Christmas. I didn't go home for Christmas. People would say, "Oh, you're out here working for Christmas." And I would say, well, nobody's paying me to stay home. So I feel like I'm looking straight at my tablet, and my eyes look like I'm talking to the man in the moon. Anyway, so and I didn't go home I did go home for Thanksgiving usually too, because I like to invite everybody over who doesn't have a place to go, and get with the family and stuff, and I got this neighbor, he's a shut-in, and I like to take him over food, and just really be good to people. And so it's been really nice having a family. We went to the stock show, and when I go home, we usually go do something really fun. And the kids have asked to go to the Perot Museum in Dallas, and that's a real cool place, especially for kids. It's like a lot of museums are mostly for kids, but it's got all the dinosaur bones. And while I was there with my grandsons, they were there's this one part that you go to, and they're doing the little digging in the dirt, cleaning off the bones, and behind the glass, and there's a little sign up there that said where those bones are from, and they were from right up the street from our house, like not like literally, but like 15 miles away. They were from St. Joe, Texas, which is up there on 287 north of Decatur. So that was really interesting. And so the cousins, the kid cousins, they're into dinosaurs too, of course. And so just tell them, well, there was probably some dinosaurs walking around our front yard, our backyard. And so they were real thrilled. So other than that, I have also been working on some Facebook groups. I'm big on Facebook. And because my best friend went to prison, she went to prison for DWIs. She had a whole bunch of them, and she didn't ever run into anybody or anything like that, but of course she could have. And so she went into prison for that, and that's where she's at. And so I was looking on Facebook groups, to see how to help her and stuff. And of course I have a pen pal too. I say of course, but it's really not like a given, like, oh, everybody has a prison pen pal. So I have this prison pen pal, and he is the older brother of my daughter's ex-boyfriend from when they were teenagers. And so I've only heard of him through them. And so he put on Facebook one time that his brother was in jail, and if anybody likes art, his brother's trying to earn money, which is who doesn't respect that, And so the Lord just put on my heart, you really don't care anything about anybody in prison. And so I guess for this part, I should pretend like I'm looking down, because from like the Lord's point of view, because I'm obviously looking up at the Lord when I'm talking, trying to find the camera. What if I just did this? Oh, is it over here? I don't see it. Anyway, so so I said, I was convicted because I don't care. People, they do the crime, they should do the time, and whatever. Prison's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be unfun. That's the point of it. It's like the naughty chair. Well, so I got convicted, and I started writing, and I sent him, $20 here and there, not anything major or big, but mostly he's real nice. He doesn't really ask me for anything. In fact, he doesn't ask me for anything, and sometimes I have a little extra money. Like I say, I'll put the $20 on, but mostly we just write, and I talk to him about the Lord, and he talks to me about what's going on with him, and so he's in there. It's funny because I might have already said this on a previous video, but he's in there for theft, and he said it was a property dispute between him and his ex-girlfriend that he lost, so he's very precious. And then my nephew. So the next time I go home, I'm going to take my niece down by Houston to see her son, and his daughter is 14, and she's going to ride along with us. And she can't go. She has to have some sort of paperwork that she doesn't have. It's all that whole last name thing. And so we're going to go to a place in Houston called the Car Art Museum, where they put all sorts of cool art on cars. So if y'all have ever been there, say something about it in the comments, because we haven't, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Entrance is free, so it's right up my alley, because I'm paying for everything else, because everybody in my family, they don't have no money. Well, I mean, some of them do. My son is the manager for Love's, and he's stacked with cash. Makes me think I should have done that when I was younger. Should have gone to work for 7-Eleven or something. But yeah, so he's the manager at the Love's in Rome, Texas, right there on 287. There's a little bitty short guy, chubby, very, very, very short hair. Anyway, yeah, I'm very proud of him. He does really good. I want him to go to college, and he didn't want to go to college, and so he had really good grades. And my daughter didn't go to college either. And when she went to work for Countrywide, and she was a supervisor there, and then they adopted this baby, and which that's the thing. I'm really in favor of adoption. Most of the people in my family are adopted. I'm adopted, and so let's see. Okay, so I'm adopted. My two sisters are adopted. My son has 2 adopted kids. He has 5 kids. 2 of them are adopted. Let's see here. My niece, who I'm going to take to go see her son, she's adopted, although my brother married her mother and adopted her. And let's see, who else we got? Oh, yeah, my other niece, my sister's daughter. She has 4 kids, and 2 of those kids are adopted. My sister is, of course, adopted too, and we had a sister who passed away. She was adopted. And my niece that I'm taking down there to Houston, she's got 2 brothers, and they were adopted. So we got this really great family that is mostly of adopted people. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And we love each other, and family is always family, and it really don't matter about DNA. And I know my 2 brothers that came from my mother. She had 5 kids, but she had to put some of them up for adoption, because back in those days there wasn't WIC and food stamps and welfare and public. There was nothing, and so she tried to get her family to help her. And she couldn't find a decent husband, so she kept she's pregnant with me and working 2 jobs, and anyway, so I know her because it was a private adoption. So I know my brother. My mother passed away, but my brothers live in South Carolina, and so I have whole family up there, and they're absolutely awesome too. Love them to pieces. Love going up there in the truck and getting to visit with them. So it's just really a charmed life, but not for everybody, because that's something that I have been working on. I strongly suspect that camera lens is right there. So I strongly suggest, that's not my best side at all, is it? Look, my face looks like roundy puffy. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, I've been working on Facebook, knowing those prisoner people, and just learning what they go through, and it's embarrassing. Our country, I can understand locking people away, but the system is set up to dehumanize them while they're in there, and to keep them in there. You know, they call it, y'all probably heard of it if y'all know anybody, catching a case, where you do something wrong and they write you up for it. That's called catching a case. And then when you go for your probation hearing, they look at how many cases you caught. Trump signed into law a thing called the First Step Act. And so it lets them take courses, classes on, you know, anger management and things like that, and get their GED. And one of the people I know is in there, I think, learning welding or something, he said. But so it helps them with that. But the way that the people who work there treat them, you know, there's no air conditioning and there's no heat. And yeah, that's terrible, because people die there all the time. They just cover it up. In Louisiana, these two prisoners died, unrelated. And their rotting bodies were released to their family. Now, look, your kid could go into prison one day and for something he didn't even do, okay? This could happen to you. Look at all those January 6th people. Normal people that went to a parade, basically. And, you know, I'm not talking guilt or innocence. I'm just saying the actions of what they might have thought they were doing. They did not intend to do things that would see them sent to prison for years. And so they were released. Their bodies were released to their families with no organs. I mean, liver gone, kidneys gone, lungs gone, eyes gone, brain gone from prison. What the heck? There is no excuse for that. I'm sorry, but people commit crimes and they make mistakes, and, you know, they do the wrong thing or they take risks, you know, like, you know, my little prison pen pal. You know, he's not really a threat to society. He thought he was sticking up for himself, even though he probably knew that it was wrong, but not 20 years wrong. And why should the taxpayers have to pay for keeping people in there that long? They're not getting rehabilitated. Their bodies are getting harvested for organs. The guards are just mean to them. They set their food out in front of them, and they're locked up, and they say, you can't eat, but you can look at it. They don't have basic hygiene. They get one set of clothes. They have to peel them off every day and wash them in the sink and hang them up to dry just to be clean, because like I said, there's no basic hygiene. They don't give you shampoo. If you want that, you got to buy it. Hopefully somebody on the outside can send you some money, because otherwise you just don't get. They skip their meals. That's not unusual for them to skip their meals. One girl was told, we don't have enough for everybody on the cell block, so nobody's getting any lunch, you know. And then when they have an inspection, they bring all the stuff in that they're supposed to have, cleaning supplies and, you know, things like that, soap, but they're not allowed to touch them because they get taken away again when the inspectors leave. So not every single person is bad in there who works there, wardens on down, but, you know, a whole lot of them are. And, you know, just putting people into cells where they're going to get beat up and AR'd, you know, just because if you mouth off at the guards, they know what cell to put you in, you know, so that you might not even live. People think, oh, well, they get all this free health care. Well, it's not that simple. You don't get good health care, and mostly they let you die. One guy died not very long ago. He came crawling out of his cell in the middle of the night in pain. Severe. He couldn't even stand up. He was in pain. They gave him some antacids and told him to go back to bed. The next morning, he was dead because he really needed medical treatment, and it was an emergency, but they do not care. My friend who's in there for the DWI, she's in there with somebody who had a stroke and can't clean herself, and the other prisoners have to go over there and clean her because she poops and, you know, herself, because she cannot get out of the bed. They will not do anything about it. Nothing. You know, it's just, it's terrible the way that we treat them. If you made your dog go without water, which is another thing that they do, and food, that's abuse, that's illegal, but yet we let these prison guards who have, you know, no formal education whatsoever, I mean, they're unskilled laborers basically, and they go in there and they just turn into little sadists. And why? Because prison should be for the time for getting reformed, you know, doing better so that you don't go back in. And then when they do come out, then nobody wants to hire them. Nobody wants to rent to them, you know. So how are they going to get a car? Where are they going to live? What are they going to do? They're going to go back out there on the streets and do the only thing that they know, and that's, rob and steal and cheat, and, because society is not forgiving enough. What's wrong with giving somebody a chance? Every one of you people who's watching this has had a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You have given that person a chance. Everybody deserves a chance, even a second chance. So I just want everybody to be aware of that. That's what this video is about. And hopefully it's, let's see, 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, I've chattered on and on. Y'all, comment down below because I answer all the comments. I love to hear what y'all have to say. So, and put a like on my video so it'll come up for other people, because really, if people watch the whole video, they do need to know about what goes on in these prisons. I mean, I understand, and I'm even in favor of the death penalty. Sorry, but I am. Some people just need killing. That probably comes from me living in Texas. But, there's no reason to get people behind bars, treat them like dogs, and try and keep them in there for as long as you possibly can. And there's no excuse for it. So that's all I'm going to say. This is just my commentary video. Next time I make a video, I will try to find the camera before I start filming so that wherever I look, it might be the right spot. Thanks, everybody. Drive safe, live happy, and dream your dreams. Bye, man's in the moons. Because I'm still looking up.